Many people are taught to do their rows perfectly upright, like this. The idea is that you get injured or something if you do this. But when you let yourself come forward, really let the shoulder blades drift forward, you get a much better stretch in the lats, in the traps, and even in the erector spinae. And I've never heard of anyone injuring themselves doing rows, because the weight is not nearly as heavy as when you're squatting or deadlifting. Plus, many studies show that when you subject muscles to more range of motion, training them at longer lengths, you get, generally, more muscle growth. The same applies to machine rows. Rather than try to stay upright like this, really let yourself get into a nice deep stretch and let the shoulder blade come forward all the way if you're going for maximum muscle growth. So when you're training your back muscles, especially the lats and the traps, it's better to get that deep stretch. And for the erector spinae, also, I've never seen anyone injure themselves. The load's relatively light, and you can actually make a good argument that also for the erector spinae, you'll get more muscle growth when you let them get a better stretch in your training. You train them at longer muscle lengths, and it might even help you avoid injury in the long term by letting your tissues adapt to stresses at long muscle lengths and with the spine under flexion. If you never train the spine in flexion, you might actually be extra susceptible to injuries in flexion because you're not used to it. When I do rows, especially for muscle growth purposes, I almost always recommend people do them with forward lean.